Yeah. This will not be sent off to the federal government or anything, so you'll be fine. Or to anybody, so. But listen, I just want to say, first of all, it's good to be here with y'all. I have pardon me if I seem a little bit fatigued, but Judy's right there with me. I've been traveling. I saw that yawn. It's been like nonstop travel for the last few weeks. I was at the Pennsylvania, I can never say this thing right, Association for Adult Continuing Education Conference. And then I was at the Pennsylvania Workforce Development Association's conference. And then from there, where else would I go? Oh, the NARDP conference. So it's been 2 weeks of travel, and you guys got to give me a whoop whoop. Thank you for that whoop whoop, Lizette, you gave a few moments ago because I can use it. And see some familiar faces I saw at the Pennsylvania conference. Good to see y'all again, Melissa and Darian. It was good to see y'all there. Thank y'all for inviting me to the lunch with you. Had lunch with y'all and everything. So before I dive in, how's everybody doing? Everybody good? Yeah. Okay, good. Well, it's definitely good to see you all. I enjoyed our last session. I think it went well. And and I just want to kind of start off by asking you, did anyone make any slight adjustments or as a result of talking about self-care and the things that we discussed in our last session, is there any new things that have evolved from that? Anyone have something like to share? Be some quick story or jump right in, Lizette. Yes.
Positive affirmations.
You did positive affirmations,
Before I
okay?
come to work, yep, I always say money attracts me. I'm gonna have a good day. Money loves me. So,
Hey, listen, we all wanted to love us. I got 4 kids that I had to put through college. Trust me, I definitely needed to love me. So, anybody else? Anything? It could be something simple. It doesn't have to be big. All right. What about you, Lauren? You look like you got something that you like. Share something with us. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know about self-care. I've just been working on efficiency.
Oh, efficiency. Okay. Tell us
Yeah.
about that. What's been going on there?
Just trying to keep up with everything. So I've kind of
Mm,
first thing I do when I come in is um basically open CDWS, the
mm,
IDST,
mm-hmm.
my Google Voice, and that way, like everything that comes in, it's readily available to be noted and updated.
Gotcha.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, I've just been focusing on efficiency in
Mm-hmm.
um, efficiency and time management.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I love that. Thank you. And you know what? To believe it, but not that self-care.
I mean,
Yeah.
definitely feel
Yeah.
better. I feel like I'm accomplishing more
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
being more thorough. I still have a ways to go, but
Hey.
and then let's see,
Mm-hmm.
I've Bridget and I have a couple of meetings coming up to help me where I'm struggling. So she's
Okay.
been supportive in that. And yeah, I definitely feel better about
Mm-hmm.
staying up on things.
Very good.
I'm
Yeah.
making progress. Like I said, I got a ways to go, but I do feel like I'm making
We all
progress.
got a ways to go. It's just you
Yeah.
know what I mean. Nobody here, none of us here are landed in the land of perfection yet. So, thank you so much for that update. All
You
right,
bet.
Tony, come on, Tony. I know you got something you want to share. Just touch something with us. Come on, Tony. What's going on with you?
I would say the positive affirmations too. Like I just always try to uplift myself and my participants, even if they're having bad days or even if the circumstances of your day isn't uplifting you, you gotta still think positive and push past those thoughts
Yeah. Did we just
or
lose
even
her?
if work might be heavy or you're getting behind. I've just
Yeah.
been still trying to stay positive. So I feel like and I've been doing a really good job doing it. So I'm proud of
Very
myself. I'm
good.
proud of my
Very good.
participants.
Well, we're proud of you. Thank you so
Thank
much for
you.
so much for sharing that. Darian, I just saw you. We had a little fun at PWDA. What about you? What's going on?
Yeah, it was fun. I don't know. I feel like for myself, I'm just really trying to focus on like maintaining a schedule.
Gotcha.
Just like not getting crazy, like knowing, okay, I'm done for the day. I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna do this, this, and this, and go to bed early. And that's it.
Hey, I feel you on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel you on that one. And sometimes you have days you feel like that, and sometimes you do need to go home and just go to bed, and just to get that rest. Because if you're like me, we don't always get the rest we need. You know what I mean? We're always kind of, and even when we are resting, our minds are still running like we're on that hamster wheel. So, all right. And I'm gonna pick on one more person because I saw her smiling face at my workshop. Melissa, what's going on? Thank you for coming out. It was good to see you. Yeah,
Hello. Yes, it
yeah.
was a great workshop. I'm glad I
Thank
was
you.
able to join.
Thank you.
Um, Also, Josie messaged me. She's not able to log in. She's having issues.
Hmm. I don't know
So I'm
why
gonna
that
send
is.
her.
Okay, that's
Nope, I don't
fine.
want that one. So yeah, she is trying to join, so I just wanted to pass that along.
Sure.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
so my self-care,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, she needs to be let in. Do you see her there?
So you know what? You don't, this is not the kind where you got to be let in.
Let me resend the link then.
Yeah,
There were two invitations. Like I had one, I
oh,
had two from Daryl too, so it
you
might be the old one,
You
the
know, you
house
know what it
one.
is? This is what we do, and I gotta stop. We send the confirmation email just to hold the date, and then we send the Zoom link. So that's what it is. So I think that she's probably trying to go into like when you send the confirmation, it sends you to what's that Chrome thing that they have is another. Yeah, so that one. So yeah, definitely send her this one. I
Yeah,
apologize
I
for that.
just
That's on my end. So once she gets this link, she should be fine.
Yeah, I did just send it over to her.
Yeah. Okay.
My self-care, I feel like I was really bad with self-care this week. I did
Yeah. Hmm.
24 assessments this week, so I
Ooh.
feel like I've kind of been losing my mind a little bit,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
um I had to
Hmm.
get them done. So I was like, okay, it's fine. We're gonna do it. We're just gonna do
Hmm.
it.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
my self-care, I got my nails done after work yesterday, so that
Hmm.
was my little bit of
Hey,
self-care.
we'll take that. Nothing wrong with getting some nails done.
Yeah,
That
but
always helps. Yeah.
I'm trying. I keep telling myself that like I need to pace myself, I need to breathe, I just need to
Yeah.
slow down, but I
Hmm.
sometimes have a hard time actually
Yeah.
doing that when I
Yeah.
know that's what I need to do because I'm like I have so much to do. I don't have time to do that. So,
Well,
I'm still working on it, but I got my nails
yep.
done, so that's good.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this, the fact that they're cognizant of it and there's a consciousness that's huge. And I want to say this, and I'm gonna have my friend Lizette join us in just a moment because I want to get some wisdom from her because she knows all about this. But what I want to make it clear what we're trying to do. A lot of times when you do like motivational type things, the assumption is it's just like a motivational speech and people are just doing all this. No, what we're talking about is a mindset that produces a specific paradigm so that we have the energy and all that to do the work that we do. So this is not just get rah rah hyped up. No, this is a day-to-day paradigm that we're trying to establish. Not that none of us are gonna be motivated every single day. It's just the way life is. You know what I mean? It's just not gonna be that way. But we can put systems in place in which we can balance out the daily rigor, you know what I mean, with a sense of, okay, I'm going to have some balance by the way I put things in place to be just doing some self-care. Just like Lauren said so clearly a few moments ago, even time management is self-care because you don't find yourself running all over the place. You know what I mean? You kind of structure. Prioritizing is a form of self-care. Doing those high priority items and those mid priority items, those are forms of self-care as well. And it's important because, I had a conversation with Zette during one of our coaching sessions, and we were talking about plants. And what we were saying is, and I love her plants, y'all. You're gonna sneak in there one day, and a few of them are gonna be gone because I'm gonna get them to steal a few of those plants and take them to my office. But we were talking about how plants. So Lizette, do me a favor. Let's talk a little bit about what we talked about earlier with plants. What are some things you got to do with plants in order for them to be healthy?
You got to take care of them, nurture them.
Mm-hmm. You got to
Hmm.
take care of them. You got to nurture them. Didn't we talk about sometimes you got to talk to them? You know what I mean?
Talking to
Yeah,
them, singing to them,
singing to them. And a lot of
touching
people,
them.
yeah, yeah. And it's interesting. You can go into two homes and see some people's plants and you're praying for them because you look at the plants, you're like, those plants are on their last leg. And then you go to other people's homes and the plants are like flourishing, you know? And so what would you say? what we talked about one major thing that plants need consistently besides talk and communications that helps them to be healthy. And what is that? Do you remember?
No, please. Oh, water.
Water.
Yep, water.
You
And
got
food
to,
plant too.
yeah,
We didn't include that in there.
yeah. And so you know what? Self-care is like watering your plant so that it can be healthy, you know? And what we've been talking about in our coaching sessions is really, and I'm going to show a PowerPoint slide. Please be prepared to take some notes because there's a few things I'm going to share with you that are more specific to strategy as we move forward, because I don't want to just speak. I want you to walk away with something. So we have to water our own self. And watering is finding, we're going to talk about some of that in just a few moments, but finding the time, even if it's just a little bit of time, to strengthen ourselves so that we can be a strength to our clients or be a strength to each other. You know, that's what, like, what we're doing, that's what it's really all about. It's not, you know, like I said, a big rah-rah session or anything like that. Like, to me, I was motivated, Bridget, when I was with your team and you guys were brainstorming. We're going to talk about that in a few moments. You know what I mean? That was huge. I love that. That's motivational. You know, kudos to your team. I love those hearts, absolutely, because you were taking the time to say, this is how we are going to help each other. We brainstormed. That was, and teamwork, absolutely. Teamwork. And we saw that, we witnessed that when we were together last time. Okay. And so it's important for us to understand that's what this is really all about. Okay. So I do want to let you know you'll be getting this soon. It's one of my newest, something I'm very proud of. We just created it. This is kind of what it looks like. All right. This little thing here. And this is for you. This is not, you know, for you to show to anybody. If you want to sit down with a teammate, you can. But it's really, it's called a Workforce Development Staff Daily Motivational Journal. And all it is for you to be able to write in for yourself. This is all for you. You know, some of your what motivates you in the morning, or what are some affirmation? You know, what's some daily goals, impact moments, what's my energy level, and then reflections. You know, and so I always try to create tools because you can try to talk about this stuff, but it's one thing to have a system to do it. So that's going to be sent out to you. We may be doing it digital. I'll let you know. I did this one, y'all, and unfortunately, when it came back, the print was too small. Unless you got super eyeballs, you will not be able to write in this thing because the print is like really small. But we'd probably do it digital. But that's for you and all my customers. These are going to be for my customers. I want you guys to have something because every day we want you to have some kind of tool to remind you of your success. So what we're going to do is this. We're going to talk about why all of this stuff is important. And please write this term down because it's kind of interesting term. And those of you who are more sophisticated and educated than me, you've probably seen this before. You know, I think, was it you, Melissa, that said you have one of you have a master's in counseling? Was it
I
you?
have I have my master's in psych and a postmaster's in trauma counseling.
Okay, good. So you know about neuroplasticity, don't you? You've heard this term
Hmm.
before. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you know about it? Just out of curiosity. Mhm.
It's kind of just like the slide says, like what your brain is like able to like absorb and like you
Mhm.
build from it and like, it's incorporated into the nervous system and how we
Mhm.
learn and stuff like that.
Very good. I want y'all to understand this term. Please write it down somewhere if you're taking notes. All right, neuroplasticity. Because I'm not a scientist and I don't have the level of degrees that Melissa has in this topic, but don't ever forget this, not just for work, but for at home and beyond. All right. So neurons. So neurons are the foundational building block of your entire nervous system. All right. Don't quiz me on this again. I'm not a doctor. I don't have a PhD, but I study this stuff. I'm kind of boring. These are the things I look at. All right. And are incredibly important for learning and brain health. All right. Neuroplasticity is the amazing ability of your brain to grow and change. And another word connected to that is neural pathways. You've heard me say that before. All right. The neural pathways. So that's how habits are formed. So I just want to make it clear when I'm here with you guys and with the many other customers we have the honor and the privilege of serving, this is an area we're focusing a lot on. because life and circumstances and situations can often take us down the pathway of the current moment defining the current climate and culture. Other words, what's going on now is was the only thing that seems to matter. But what we're saying with this is we can kind of create, some systems in our thinking that will cause us to be able to better handle situations because we kind of preset the way we're going to do things. Any of you ever play sports before? Any sports, former athletes? All right. Anybody? Let me take this down so I can see because I can't see you through this. All right. Any former athletes? What did you have to, Josie, tell me a little bit about what did you have to do before each game? Bridget said I attempted sports.
Stretch and warm up.
Warm up. But what else did you have to do? Was something even before you stretched and warmed up? What do you have to do every day before each of those games? You went to what?
Eat.
Did you say eat?
Yes.
Well, that's important. But what did you
Practice.
say? Somebody say it again. Say it again.
Practice.
Practice, thank you. Now I'm asking you a question. Were any of y'all crazy about practice?
Yeah.
Who said
Depended,
yeah?
kind of.
Yeah.
I
We were
love
crazy
practice.
about we go to practice and like I never passed the tryouts. Y'all so funny. But catching butterflies. All right, y'all. But you know what? You had to practice. Can I say something, y'all? Can I be honest with you? I couldn't stand practice. I hated those coaches. I couldn't stand running those hills. I couldn't run going over those drills over and over and over again. But then you come to the game, and what would happen at the game? You would do what? You would
Go
perform.
hard.
Go hard. You would perform. And all that stuff that you practice, you're like, oh, that's why this makes sense. See? And then, like I tell you something, Lauren, I used to hate practice. I did. I remember like when I was in college, they had us play, I played football. I hated practice. I said, well, most of my friends home at the mall, and I'm sitting up here in 100 degrees weather with uniform pads on. I lost my
I
mind.
loved practice.
That's a
I
lot of
loved
discipline.
practice because you were with I was with my friends, we got to go through the drills, and you didn't have that pressure that you have
Yeah.
at the game. So like
That's
practice
why I
was a good
love
time.
practice.
It's kind of like state testing in school. I
Oh,
loved
Lord.
state testing
Oh,
because I'd
Lord.
finish my test and then we didn't have any work for the rest of the day. And I'm not
Oh.
getting graded. It's not affecting my grade in class. It's just a state test.
All
Like
right. All right. I'm gonna give you a few of these. Okay. All
I
right.
do I do want to say something about I have a different
Mm-hmm.
kind of
Mm-hmm.
what am I trying to say?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I'll just get to it. So I waited tables when I was younger. That was my
Mm-hmm.
first job, started in
Right.
high school. Um and one of the things they would always like part of our training process when you're especially as a new server was they would say full hands in, full hands out.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So basically, when you're going back to the kitchen or the service station, you pick up everything that you need to get
Mm-hmm.
from on the floor, and when you're coming back out, you pick up as much as you can handle
Mm-hmm.
to go out. And I've always connected that with, first of all, I learned a lot of very, very valuable work
Yep.
ethic
Bingo.
skills in serving.
Mm-hmm.
But the full hands in, full hands out always it applies to almost everything
Mm.
because in order to master that, um, you have to be time efficient.
Yep.
You have to be able to basically handle multitask like that. You've got to be able to
Mm-hmm.
scan your surroundings, know what you need. And at all times, you're basically scanning your surroundings. Um, and you have a
Mm-hmm.
constant to-do list going in your head and you're checking
Mm-hmm.
it off as you go. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's smooth movement. And when you
Mm.
master that, your job becomes so much easier because
Mm.
you are completing much more in every move you make. you're completing multiple things at the same time.
Mm.
So like going back to the time management when I'm opening screens so that everything that I know I need to keep up on is right there and easily accessible. It's a my way of full hand, full
Yeah,
hands in, full hands out.
I love that.
Is less effort for every task that you're doing. It's the work
Yeah,
smarter, not harder.
I love that. Y'all, come on, go to emojis and show us some love. That was really good insight. Come on, like they can go to the emojis and give a hand clap or let them know because that was really good what you just shared. And because it's a perfect segue into what I'm about to talk about. What they gave you, look at those hand claps. My goodness. Look, let me tell you something. That what they gave you was a system of efficiency.
Yes.
They gave you a system of efficiency. And the reason why you were able to effectively do it, my friend, is because that was reprogramming your neural pathways. All of the people that work there. So we may come in, right, with a way of doing things, but that system reshaped your neural pathways. So now you operate this way. You know, a company that's really good at that is Chick-fil-A. And somebody, if you've ever been to Chick-fil-A, I still to this day don't know how you get 16-year-olds to smile. How do you get
Facts.
15 and 16 and 17-year-olds to smile? Yes.
Free meals. Free
What's
meals.
that? Free
Free
meal?
meals. Mm-hmm.
Oh, they get free food? Oh, well, that'll do it.
Chicken
Some
tenders.
restaurant workers, I used to work at a couple of restaurants and they provided a free meal during
Okay.
their
Well,
shift.
maybe that,
So
when
free
you're young,
meals.
when you're young like that, you do like to eat. So, but the
I'd work for
thing,
some chicken nuggets
you and me both, they can get me for free too.
and a
But
jar of pickles.
I've studied their training program. I studied it, and they have mastered the art of getting that comprehensive, all right, it's a comprehensive way of doing things, okay, that produces the same result no matter what the location. All over the United States. For the last 10 years, they've been rated #1 in customer service. No one's come close. No
They got
one.
a good business model.
What's that?
They
Yeah,
got a good business
they
model.
do have a good business model. And so what I'm trying to say to you all, so you can understand where I'm coming from with this work, because, again, folks know the motive. They don't realize what I'm trying to do is create systems. Like what I'm working with you all, my hope is that there's continuity that you're getting from these sessions that we can apply to whatever aspect of work we're doing, so that you'll be no different than Chick-fil-A or Disney.
They have mastered the flow of their business.
And that's it right there.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to do here. It's different because we're dealing directly with people, and some of our people got barriers and challenges and things like that. So it's a little different. But what we're trying to communicate here through these coachings and trainings is the model. It makes sense because now you create a sense of continuity. Like, for instance, at the centers, if we say this is how we're operating and everyone operates in that mode, then when people walk in, they say that's just who they are. Just like with Chick-fil-A. When I go to Chick-fil-A, I know I'm going to get a smile. I don't even think twice. That first kid and that second kid, and then this one kid, I say this real quick now. I got a few more things I want to share with you before we end. The one kid was actually doing a Q&A with us at the drive-in window. We were sitting there and he said, so I got 3 questions to ask you. What's your favorite place to travel? I said, I'm being quizzed by a 15-year-old.
He needs ideas.
It was so cool. I was like, well, we're waiting for our food. He quizzing us. It was fun stuff. So what I'm saying is, he just didn't come up with that on his own. That was something that's a part of the organizational way of operating. And I said, man, if I can get my people to understand, that's all I'm trying to create. I am. Like, it's hard to explain it, but that's all. So we continually, and with them, what I said about studying their training model, they train on this consistently. It's not one training a year, then go figure it out. It's training and continually working on it. So I do have a few things I want to share. And thank y'all for your input. This has been such a great session. You're motivating me, y'all. I'm telling you, you're all the motivators today. And so I do want to give you a few things. And please write these down. I'm going to ask you if you can to maybe, send me a message just to update me where you are. But I want to talk about 4 self-care strategies that will help with client and personal success. That's something my son did for my wife for Mother's Day one day. My son's an artist. So My daughter's not that little right now. She's taller and she's 14 and she's wearing me out, but I love her dearly. All right. And so one is celebrate daily wins. Please write that down. Celebrate daily wins. What I want you to do is, my journal won't be there for a while because I got to make some, but if you have, I mentioned from day one, have a journal, write down a win, just one. That's it every day. You don't need to do 10, 15, or 20, just one. And if you do one win a day, you have 5 wins a week. So you can end your week by saying, look what I did. The win doesn't have to just be with clients. It could be with coworkers. It could be, with stakeholders in the community. It could be a variety of different people. But celebrate. Again, that starts to impact the whole thing of neuroplasticity. Because what it's doing is shaping the fact that everything is not as bad as it seems. Because if we just look at the day-to-day challenges, what happens is that becomes our norm. And then that norm becomes our paradigm. And then that paradigm affects the way we think about everything we do. So what we do as a coach and consulting is we want to impact the paradigm. So celebrate daily wins. I'm gonna stop real quick. Who had a win this week? Tell me about it. Somebody. It could be anybody. Just a win, something good that happened with a client, a coworker, whatever. Give me one. Give me one win. Somebody. Charlene, what's a win you had this week? Yeah, I'm messing with you.
Why you gotta pick me?
Because I know you got to win. I can tell. You're like, Coach, please pick me.
I'm like, please don't.
Mm-hmm.
A win, a win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Something good. It can be small. It doesn't have to be big. It could be small. Somebody
You know, it's
shared.
so hard sometimes to think when you have so much, like you have all the stresses that,
Mm-hmm.
it's so hard to think about the wins sometimes when
Mm-hmm.
you feel like you're not winning.
Yep.
So that's how I'm feeling today. I'm sorry.
That's
I
okay.
I,
But
I
look,
really can't think about
and
one
that's
win.
okay. That's okay. That's what we're here for. But look what Bridget said. My win for today is the energy and motivation everybody talked to this meeting. That's a win. You see what that is? See, she didn't say anything like 10 times. It's little things. So, Charlene, I guarantee you, if you do what I'm doing, it'll change. Let me tell you what it'll do. Find one a day. That's all. And write it down. Don't keep it up here because once it gets up here, it can flow out real quick. Because we just, but write down one win. Could y'all do that for me?
Yeah.
And at the end of the week, just email and say Uncle Coach D. You can even call me Uncle Coach D. I'll be your uncle for the week. Hey, Uncle Coach D. All right, this is a win I had this week. I'm your uncle now. I just became family member. Okay. All right. So Charlene, what'll
I
happen is over
I can
time.
say one now. Like I could think of
There
I
you go,
spoke
girl. I knew it was
to
there. Mm-hmm.
so I am initially the person who reaches out to the people referred to us, and I was able to speak to a Spanish participant, like to give them a brief overview of of what to expect from the program and that
Yeah.
they're going to be reached out by Lizette. And it just feels good when you can motivate somebody because she's right now so it felt like I motivated her. And I feel like that's a win. And she thanked me. She was like, thank you so much because I told
Thank
her my
you.
story, so that was nice, that's a
Thank you
win.
is always a win. Please write that down. My
Yeah.
friend who closed out the National Association of Workforce Development Professionals Conference, my dear friend who's like a sister, I love her with all my heart. Her name is
Mm-hmm.
Joy Jamerson. Joy said, now I'm not going to say anybody going to agree with this,
Mm-hmm.
but she says this, a thank you from a client is more exciting than my check going into my account on Friday.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know if everybody agree with that, but I hear what she's saying. The
Mm-hmm.
fact that somebody said thank you is
Mm-hmm.
huge. Charlene,
Yeah.
see, I told you there's a win. And
Charlene, give
It's a
yourself
motive.
credit.
Yeah.
I
yes,
hear you talking to them when you answer all their questions. You're very informative. So
Thank you.
give yourself that credit.
all right, let's give Charlene some hearts, y'all. Come on, go on down there and put a little heart emoji in there for Charlene.
Oh.
There you go. We love you, Charlene. Let me tell
Thank
you
you.
something. Let me tell you something, my friends. That's a win. See, what we're talking about is not huge. little itty bitty. Somebody brought me a soda today. Somebody shared their sandwich with me today. I mean, somebody helped me with a client. So can y'all give me one a day? Is that cool? Just one? That's one. And can I ask you to do something just real quick? If you have meetings, Bridget, y'all have team meetings, everybody just share a win. That's all. Because guess not, now you're going to start finding that it ain't all as bad as you think it is. Because I work in this industry for 24 years. I know it's easy for us to slip into all the challenges that we face. Because I had them too, I get it. But looking at those wins, then over a month, you're gonna look up and say, boy, I got 30 wins this month. And 30 wins to get you into the championship game. That's a lot of winning. So, okay, let me finish these up. Okay, so this is the first thing I want to do is I want you to celebrate daily wins. All right. Secondly, I want you to create 3 what I call anchor values. Create 2 for work and 1 for yourself. Lizette has already heard this before. Like maybe I'm just giving it like respect for my team is going to be a value. I'm going to give my teammates some grace. When they're not having the best day, I'm still going to be there to inspire. Because we all have bad days. All of us do. All of us do, except for Josie. She don't have bad days. I can tell. She just don't, she don't have them. So I'm just, but integrity. I'm going to treat all my people, customers with integrity. I'm going to treat each other with integrity. And then this is a fun core. This is a value for you. A fun, like every month, once a month, I'm going to paint the town red, man. I'm going to go run around, have some fun, go from here to there. It could be any value. These are just, you can say, I'm going to go take a walk at the park. I'm going to do, but at least have one thing you just enjoy doing. You know what I mean? I'm going to go to karaoke. You guys don't know, Coach D is the karaoke king. When my wife and I do a cruise every year, I own the boat. I walk around, I am a celebrity because I kill karaoke. And my favorite group is the Temptations. So I start singing the Temp song and then it's just over. I got everybody. And guess what, y'all? Coach is taking one with his wife over the next week. I need it because I'm tired. And guess who's gonna own that boat when I go again? All right.
Mm.
So I'm gonna get up there and I'll be the karaoke king.
I was gonna tell you, you should instead of doing Zumba, you do karaoke, but you're gonna be the one singing next time.
Y'all! I'm gonna tell you,
We gotta
just
hear your singing.
just get your tissue out. Y'all gonna be crying because I have that kind of effect when I sing, y'all. All right, but I want you to do. Could y'all do this for me? Give me 2. Create 3 anchor values. Now, this is what I want you to do. Let those values drive, and this takes time to do, but let those values drive the way you interact with people, the way you do things. Now, why is this important? Like if you study winning sports teams, which again, I'm a researcher. People think I research more than I motivate. And you study, there's certain characteristics of winning teams. And one of the major characteristics of a winning team, be it a sports team or organization team, is they operate within a specific set of core values. Period. Listen to this real quick, and I know we got time. We're going to be out here in time, I promise. There was a school in the Bronx, New York, that was one of the lowest rated schools in the United States. They couldn't pass anybody. They got a new principal. They got a new team. People came in, and they aligned themselves as a team around 2 specific core values. One was respect for our students. We're not going to argue at them. We're going to just lift them up. We're going to encourage them. Do you know within a year and a half, that became one of the top schools in the city of New York and one of the top 5% of schools in New York, in the United States. Why? Because they stuck to their values. If a kid came in here screaming and kicking, it didn't even matter. All right? So create those for yourself. This is me and my son. My son has actually been going out here. We're talking about the superhero project. I've got him doing some things. That's my Daryl Jr. You can see in the backdrop of this picture, working here and motivating some young people. All right, so 3 anchor values. Got that? We good? Just come, and these are ones I put for me. You can do your own. And then send me one of them, not all of them, maybe one of them. I want to see what values you have. Then synergize. Remember, like I said, it could be during your already established meetings, but just brainstorm like you did when we were at our time today. Okay, somebody puts a client on the table. Okay, this is what's going on. How would you handle this? And if you did this like twice a month, I tell you, that's all you need. 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Because now you're using, remember we talked about localized best practices? You know, you don't necessarily have to go 50 miles. You got somebody right there, you know? So you guys did a good job with that. I talked about that at Pennsylvania Workforce Development Conference. I talked about y'all. I said, man, you know, matter of fact, even Stephanie mentioned it, how impressed she was. But didn't she, Melissa, you were there, how impressed she was how, you know, you guys did that. So that caught her, just, that's awesome. You know what I mean? So meet twice per month to brainstorm, synergize. All right. And then lastly, empower your teammates. You know, it's so easy as people, even as families, because, you know, families, we can be interesting too, because we're around each other so much just to see the stuff. You know what I mean? Like we see each other's stuff when we're not at our best, and we start to measure each other by that. I'm talking about people. I'm not talking about you in general. I'm talking about people. But what happens is when you say, you know what? When I hear somebody do, and somebody just compliment, I can't remember the dialogue that just took place a moment ago with Charlene. Somebody, I think of Melissa, you just complimenting Charlene about how she, I hear you. You're doing a great job. That's empowerment. You know what I mean? You know, and it's not to put you on the spot, Charlene, but I'm gonna show you how empowerment works. So, empowerment, if y'all remember, I said empowerment is taking inside of you what you see in a person and getting them to believe it, right? So that's like, I want you, so you just said if your moments go, it's hard, which I get it. I'm 100% on tracking you on that. But then Melissa said what she said, she empowered you and you said, you know what, I do have something good. You see how, you see what I'm saying? So that conversation made you say, you know what, I just had this great interaction with this client. They thanked me. But what happens with all of us, and this is all of us, if we don't look at that, all we look at is all the challenges. Then that defines the culture. So a lot of our conversations could be around it, this person, that person. When we ran our workforce programs, we made it a goal that we don't talk negatively about clients. We just don't. We said because we got to work with them every day. And if we're going to continually strengthen ourselves to do this work, we just not going to do that. And so if a client had a problem, we just brainstorm, like I'm telling you, to work through it, but we never, lunchroom, anywhere, talked about. We said because that would take power out of us. That takes power out. All right, so let me go back and show you these again so you know. All right, one, celebrate daily wins, create anchor values, synergize, okay, and empower your teammates. That's self-care on steroids. Included what Lauren said about time management and all those things, because that is too. You know what I mean? What she said about the company. I love that scenario that you shared. I might be sharing it in some of my speeches. I'll give you credit though. I'm good for stealing good stories. You know what I
I've
mean?
got a couple of them. Maybe I'll send them to you.
Send them to me so I can just
I'll,
use some, and I'll
I'll,
steal some of them. I've already quoted a few of y'all, some of my prior presentations, because you're always sharing stuff with me that's powerful. So,
I think this team does a really great job of empowerment.
yes, yes.
I just feel like the
Mhm.
environment here is very
I love it. I love it.
supportive. Like everybody is
Yeah.
very like
Hmm.
willing to help.
Yep.
And yeah,
Hmm.
that's been a great experience.
That's your team right there. Totally exceptional attitudes meshing. And you're right. You're right. And can we kind of give the fearless leader here a little bit of some love? Let's go out of here. Come on, we gotta show Bridget some love. Bridget has been so helpful, man. I'm telling you,
I'm
I
telling you
love
guys have me
that.
tearing up
Oh
today.
my
Like this
God, she's just,
energy
but
is
you is
just
because you just, hey, my friend, you work with me. You don't give me a dip. I mean, no, if I ask you something, you working with it. You get together with the team. You see it as important, and I thank God for you for that, friend. Because all I'm trying to do is help the team. You
I am
know?
just so
Yeah.
happy to see my team come together and work so
Oh,
well and just
it's a
I've really
great.
missed this
Yeah.
energy. So thank you guys.
Thank you. Well, listen, don't start crying because then I'll start crying. I'm a big baby, y'all. It'll take me but 2 seconds.
Listen, she's so patient with us. I give her
Yeah,
so
she
many
is.
headaches. She pulls
Yeah,
my ears,
yep. But
and there's
she,
so much love there.
like, can I be honest with you? I have talked, Bridget, I didn't say your name, but I've talked about you when I talk about my post-pandemic leadership. And I said a leadership that understands empathy, a leader that you've come up in my conversations, and I appreciate you for that. Because
Thank
you know,
you.
when I see good leadership, I talk about because I've seen the other side. And trust me, it ain't that good. So, so that's it. So, I'm gonna put my email in here. Let me do this real quick because there was that last slide that I wanted to share. But make sure you send me a win, like I said, and then, just from some of the wins, your what you call it, some of your values, and then brainstorm with each other. Yep. Maybe at the end of the week we do that. And then because again, and I love that, Melissa. That's right. We do love you, Bridget. Because I just want us to understand. And my email, I'm gonna put in the chat feature. You should have it though. All right, because I'm your coach and I'm here, you're playing the game. You know what I mean? You're shooting the jumpers, you're running the touchdowns. I'm just here trying as a coach, give you some strategy, you know, to help. And I just hope that this information has been helpful. So I'm a stickler for time. We're right at that last moment here. Anybody have anything they want to say as we conclude? Thank you so much. I agree with Bridget. This has been wonderful. I was a little bit tired when I got on here. I'm not now. So y'all motivated
Glad
me.
we could help, and thank you for your help.
Yeah, thank you. It's an honor to be here, my friends. I appreciate every last one of you. And listen, hold each other accountable to those 4 things we just talked about. Say, how's it going? Check in with each other every now and then. But please email me some of those wins because I'll document those. And then when we have our meetings, we can talk about them. You know what I mean? We can talk about, man, so that way, instead of every day being just the grind, because this industry takes work. I was with thousands of your peers all over the country. Everybody's saying the same thing. You're not alone. But working together, the ones who seem to succeed the most are the ones that work together. I'm going to tell you that after being in hundreds, if not thousands of locations. All right, much love. We'll see you soon. Bridget, I'll be in touch as far as follow-up for the next sessions. And thank y'all so much. Keep me in prayer. I'm going away for a week. I'm going to sleep every day.
Safe travels. Enjoy your vacation.
All right, take care, friends. All
Bye.
right, bye-bye now. And Bridget, I'll send you this video. I'll send you the video. All right, take care.